All right, it's 10:05, so we'll just go ahead and get started. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so just a quick intro of what this group is. So it's basically a big, large email listing of all of the different TCUs who have kind of like career services activities. So like the career service professionals who work on job placement, resume review and things like that. So that's the group of the TCU Career Consortium. My name is Iman Moore. I'm the treasurer and chair currently. So today we're going to have Chrissy Courier from the Department of Transportation give a presentation on the initiatives that they have going on. So I'm kind of hoping that if anyone has something similar that they're working on, they might be able to connect with her to, I think she has some funding and things like that. But I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Chrissy, and then you can introduce yourself. And then if you have a presentation, you can share it. Otherwise, if you want to send it over to my email, I can share it for you.
Sure, I have got it. Hello, everybody. I'm Chrissy Courier with the Federal Highway Administration. We are a mode within the United States Department of Transportation. I am physically located in Texarkana, Texas, which is a split town. Half of us are Arkansas, half are Texas. And if I seem a bit frazzled, we had a storm last night and 2 rooms in my house woke up and they were flooded. So if you hear anything, it's them dealing with that right now. But all's good. Hopefully we caught it in time. But yeah, fun times in the spring in the South. So are y'all mostly, I know that Amon had shared with me some of the members, but are most of y'all kind of up north a little bit? Are there any down south? Are you kind of geographically all around the US? Anybody? Y'all can come off mute if you want to, where you're from.
Wisconsin. I'm Susan Walkham with the College of Menominee Nation in Wisconsin, like 40 minutes from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And
I have not.
and
who else?
Yep, I'm Yati Mohammed from Little Priest Trumbull College in Winnebago, Nebraska.
Okay. Okay. And we got a couple others. I was looking at y'all's website, and so there were so many. Y'all have quite a few members, actually. We're good. Okay, so I'm going to share with y'all a little bit about what we do. So my goal as in Federal Highway, I am within the Office of Infrastructure, which doesn't mean much. They kind of bump me around. We just had another reorg, but it basically means that I'm just trying to get people into heavy highway construction. I'm trying to get people to identify, train, place, and put people in jobs. So when I connected with Amon, I was like, this is fantastic that there are some, we already know that there are colleges in the US that have construction training programs, but they're not, a lot of them are not connected with the departments of transportation in their state or in their tribal nations. So we are trying to give everybody the opportunity to partner with these entities like departments of transportation, workforce boards, with other nonprofits to try to get people into the industry. And so y'all are definitely in the college space in a critical part of this as trying to identify people and get them into careers. So thank y'all for putting your names and where you're from in the chat. I appreciate it. So I do have a Zoom sometimes is not my friend. So give me 1 second to try to bring up my presentation. I want to share sound because I have a few things to share with y'all.
Yeah, Ken saw me, but I opened them and he didn't do them, so.
Okay, can y'all see the screen that says strategic workforce development? Okay.
Yes.
Good deal.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I can't see the chat once I'm sharing a screen. So again, I'm managing the program for the nation. We actually have 43 state departments of transportation that have signed up to be part of this initiative. So I'm going to go through a few slides and I need to I apologize if I use acronyms. We love our acronyms, probably like y'all do in educational institutions within transportation. It's all we do, but I know y'all are different groups, so I'm going to try to keep that in the back of my mind. So our initiative is called Strategic Workforce Development. And so it's strange. Some higher ups picked it, did not put transportation or highway anywhere in that name. But so I have to let people know a little bit about what we are. So bottom line, there are not enough people in the industry. I mean, that's what we're dealing with. Y'all seen the help wanted signs everywhere, same as I have, that we have no, 1 second, sorry, got the little screen, it's blocking my presentation, it looks like. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. So y'all, obviously, I mean, y'all are working on trying to place people into jobs. So we have the challenge of we need 4.6 million people in the transportation industry, and that does include construction as far as building the roads, because state departments of transportation and tribal governments typically they don't build the roads, they get the money and then they actually hire contractors. So we're trying to beef up the contractor workforce. So here's a bit about what's going on in construction and transportation workforce development. We're having major project delays because 2/3 the Association of General Contractors, which is this nationwide group of contractors, of building contractors, both vertical and horizontal, they're saying that they are having project delays because they cannot get the people to actually work on the project. So that's part of what's going on. We have project delays. We're having skill gaps, which y'all have seen. We have people who don't have the proper skills in order to get the job, even if it's just basic, like soft skills, like how to write a resume, how to complete and how to conduct an interview, how to even apply for jobs. So we're trying to help people to fill that gap as well and teach the trades so people can get these jobs, because so many people are retiring. And the third thing that I wanted to point out is industry perception. So this is something that we are trying to work on, that people think construction and they're like, it's hot, it's messy, I don't want to do it, it doesn't pay well. It does. These are great careers. They're not just jobs, they're great careers. They can help impact someone's family if someone gets a job. So we want to share that. And we even have, I'll share with y'all our website in a little bit, but we even have a brochure we've come up with for guidance counselors about careers in construction, because guidance counselors are the ones who are kind of leading the kids and saying, they're the ones that tell them about college, but do they tell them about the trades and how great these careers are? So our program, you'll hear, we'll say roads to your future, sometimes hashtag roads to your future. We'll talk about that. But strategic workforce development initially began as the Highway Construction Workforce Partnership Program. And our goal was to, right on the screen, support building tomorrow's highway construction workforce through these programs. So I'm going to go through a little bit of the history of the HCWP, and then I'll tell you a little bit about how we can get y'all involved. So we started out as a pilot in around 2018, 2019. We had 6 cities and 6 states that were these pilots supported by Federal Highway and other state departments of transportation. And they were to do these partnerships, establish these working groups, like I mentioned. And in these working groups, they were the transportation industry, obviously, nonprofits, private industry like contractors, academia like yourself, those of y'all on the call, and also federal, state, tribal, and local governments, just getting all together, because we've realized we can't do it alone. Like colleges can't do it alone. Departments of transportation cannot do it alone. We need to have everybody have a seat at the table to work towards a solution. So this slide is more for departments of transportation, but I do want y'all to be aware, state departments of transportation receive money from my agency, from the Federal Highway Administration. There's $10 million a year that once some other programs take some funds off, goes down to $6 million. And then that is divvied out amongst all the states. Every state gets a portion of the $6 million, which once you divide it up, it's not a lot. And it is to help with their on-the-job training supportive services program. So every state is required by law to have an on-the-job training program, but we provide the funds for supportive services, which is providing, if states wish to provide training, like to partner with a community college or a university, they can also provide for childcare, transportation subsidies. We also provide just basic training, and personal protective equipment. Is another thing states can use it. So that's been around since 1972. The dollar amount has not changed. It is set in statute. It is set by Congress, the 10 million that kind of divvies down. So that's not a lot. So we realized that departments of transportation, both state and tribal, were trying to do it by themselves. They were just like, listen, this is a little bit of money, we're going to do it ourselves. So that's when we started saying partnerships, start working with other entities to get people into these jobs. So here's a map showing you across the US, we have 43 states that are part of this initiative. And so you may see your state on there. Quite a few states that some of y'all even mentioned are part of this initiative. And we had 32 2 years ago. We were part of this program called Everyday Counts within Federal Highway. And it's just a little program that we come up with these innovative programs, these initiatives, and it's up to the state DOTs, Departments of Transportation, if they wish to participate in it. And we had 32 that decided to participate the Everyday Counts round 6. Now we're part of Everyday Counts 7, and we have 43 states that are raising their hand and saying, this is the problem. We need to get people into heavy highway construction careers. So we're excited we have that many states involved. Some states are quiet, some states are really active, but we're trying to share these best practices about what other states are doing, trying to share it with other entities. So here again is our goal. We're trying to raise awareness and foster healthy attitudes towards construction careers. We're trying to build the capacity and capability of the highway construction workforce. And I said on there, we have started doing, we're part of Everyday Counts 7. So we have another year of our program to continue, that you'll continue seeing webinars and case studies and things like that coming out of my office. But we have an expanded emphasis during this round on rural and tribal communities. So that's how we were able to connect with y'all, because we're trying to learn what we can about what's going on in tribal nations as far as what is the need and how we can provide help, but also to share those examples of states that have done and tribal communities that have done awesome things with trying to get people in the tribal entities into jobs. So that's why we're here, to learn from y'all and y'all to learn from us. So again, partnerships. These are some of the events that we have hosted in the past 2.5 years. Went out to Phoenix, had an equipment rodeo, and we bring together, and we have some other states. So we did, I think, the Carolinas, and then another one was in Florida. What we do is Federal Highway brings together 4 to 5 states, and that's the Department of Transportation staff, but also we ask them to invite their partners. So we had, like in Phoenix, we actually had some colleges from New York attend. We've had some colleges from Alabama attend that were partnered with their state Department of Transportation. And they all came, we bring them all together for about a day and a half, 2 days, just to talk about best practices and what is working and how you're getting people into highway construction training and into careers. So I love these events. We have 2 more scheduled this summer, and we're going to keep sharing the good news about strategic workforce development. So on the screen are all of our national partners that we originally started with. The ones have an asterisk. So we work with the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials. It's called AASHTO. So you love our acronyms. Every single one of them has an acronym. So we've worked a lot with national entities, kind of in the DC area, that work with either contractors, that work with suppliers of contract projects like asphalt and concrete, things like that, safety entities, and also other federal entities. But these may be the national partners, and they may put some information, like they'll share information. Occasionally they'll put something in their website, or they'll have grant opportunities. But the real people that are making this program work are the boots on the ground. It's the actual people like y'all who are in the trenches trying to find people and help them get jobs and get training. So here are 2 examples. I'm going to share 2 examples of 2 states that are already working with tribal workforce development. The first one is Wisconsin. So Wisconsin has the Highway Construction Skills Training, the HCST, another acronym, and it's been going on for a few years now. And actually, I think it's more than a few years. I think it's been well over 10 or something like that. But it's a 6-week program that takes local tribal members and prepares them for careers in road construction. So it's super exciting. We don't know what we don't know. And so I didn't know that some states were doing this. And so as soon as we heard about it, we were like, hey, can we share y'all's story? So what I also do is I try to put together articles, case studies, FAQs, speaking points, things like that to share with people. So one of the stories that came out of Wisconsin is this gentleman named Daniel Webster. He is a tribe member, and he actually came in to one of these training programs at Wisconsin DOT as a flagger, and now he has moved up in his career, and he is now the director of diversity and inclusion for Walbeck Group. It's a pretty big construction firm in the Wisconsin area. And he travels around and to the other states kind of near, trying to advocate and recruit people, specifically tribe members, into highway construction. So we have some articles coming out pretty soon in our newsletters and in another federal highway publication highlighting Daniel Webster. And then another program that we're aware of is the Washington Department of Transportation. They have the PASS program, which is the Pre-Apprenticeship and Supportive Services Grant Program. They use some of their on-the-job training supportive services funds and some other federal funds to provide those supportive services, like I talked about, childcare, transportation subsidies, but also for pre-apprenticeship training. And they have focused on this program on tribal communities. So here's some of the items I've mentioned to y'all that we have on our website. We have this toolkit is what we call it, where we place the case studies. We have marketing brochures, postcards, things like that, that a state Department of Transportation or even a community college could slap just says, here's some information about jobs, and you can even slap like your contact information, and somebody can reach out to you about trying to get a job or trying to get training. So a document that is important to our initiative is called the Playbook. And this is based on the pilots that we did a few years back. And it's just taking some of the goals and some of the successes of these programs and putting them into one document. And the gentleman that prepared it, Clark Martin, loved football, so he made them into plays. So here you can see the plays that are in the book. It's to build tomorrow's highway construction workforce. And number one is let the industry quarterback your team. We try to tell state departments of transportation and tribal DOTs that the contractors need to be involved. Because again, the government entity typically is not the one building it. They may be funding it, they may be designing it and doing the approval processes, but they are not the one who's actually pouring that asphalt and concrete and running all the bulldozers and things like that. So you've got to get the contractor as part of your team. Here's another part of the playbook just to show y'all one of the examples. We do have, again, there's tips in it and examples, things like that, and I can share a copy of that with y'all. So I want to show a video, and so I can no longer embed these. So give me just 1 second. I'm going to try to minimize and share this video. I had it pulled up earlier, but there we go. Okay.
Sending another one behind.
Copy. The opportunities are endless. It's all there, and it's all waiting for people, especially from this program, to go out there and get those jobs and get those types of benefits through the program.
It's a really good program. I'm glad I took it. I encourage other people to take the program. It's a good foothold for many other opportunities.
Throughout the 6 weeks, they start to realize things like, okay, well, I could start out as a flagger, but man, I really want to become an operator. How do I do that? And we can help people go down that path.
If you like being outdoors, this is what you want to do. You want to be a flag or work on a crew.
The teachers and everything that were telling us how to do stuff, showing us to do stuff, everybody was amazing at their job, at what they were doing.
Being up here in a rural community, there's not a lot of opportunities for especially decent paying jobs. We can take people, put them through this program, introduce them to HR representatives through networking events, get them out there to other companies throughout the state.
I like it. It's a lot better than sitting in the office. So. And plus, I get the winters off.
I've been doing flagging for 3 years now, and I absolutely love it.
1 second to see if I can get back to the slides, because there's one thing I really want to share with y'all. There we go. So that is one of the programs. That's kind of what the our partnerships are doing. They're putting together flagger training, or they're putting together OSHA 10, how to complete that. There's other classes like more advanced construction training that I know some community colleges are doing. It might be more of a 2-month, 3-month, things like that. But love to share those successes, and that was in Wisconsin. So we have a grant opportunity that came out, I think 2.5 weeks ago now. And so it is still on the street, and it's called the Highway Construction Training Program Grant. And guess what? Universities, colleges, and community colleges are eligible recipients, which is not typical for federal highway grants. Typically, it's the state departments of transportation are the recipient of most of our awards. But now this grant is open to educational institutions. It could actually even be high schools. If you're working with a high school in your area that has maybe a CTE program or something like that, they are also eligible recipients. And these grants are going to be, we have $4.2 million available. It's going to be limited to $300,000 per grant. And what they are is to establish these working groups. We're saying, try to, put together a grant proposal, tell us how you're going to work together, the partnership, the kind of plan that you have, if you want to do a construction academy, if you rather provide more supportive services. But it's what is your plan? And if you already have a working group in your state, then how do you want to continue to expand it? What do you want to implement? So those are the kind of things we're looking for. There's the grant link, and I'll share that in the chat in a second so y'all can link to it. I can also share this presentation after the fact, but I wanted y'all to be aware of that. So I'm going to stop sharing this presentation, and I wanted to show y'all one other. Give me 1 second to check the chat and see if I cannot see the chat. 1 second. There's one other. Can y'all see the YouTube page right now? I think maybe you can see the YouTube page. So I'm going to try to pull up one other video that I love to share. If I cannot see it, let me stop sharing real quick. There we go. There's one other program just to give y'all kind of a flavor. And this program that I'm going to share this video actually was Dallas College in Dallas was part of this initiative. They were one of the partnerships. So I'd love to share it with y'all. Just 1 second. Share screen. I'm going to share a sound. And it's going to be this one, and here we go.
Administration.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here. I appreciate your attendance and time you're taking to join us as we celebrate this group of young people and their graduation today. We're going to walk through our graduates one at a time. Isaiah Gibson. Isaiah is graduating with OSHA 10 Core Construction Certification, and he's employed with Austin Bridge and Road.
As far as me personally, I got out of prison 5 months ago. I've been able to receive employment, receive certifications. I just am grateful, and I thank them for that.
Here at TxDOT, we created the Connect You to Jobs brand specifically for this partnership. With the infrastructure bill coming through, we have a lot of projects in the state. We're growing rapidly with a lot of people moving here.
We have programs in infrastructure. We have programs in retail, logistics, advanced manufacturing. There are several different program tracks that we have that we fund and we help promote. And all of them we like to be industry driven.
There's a lot of demand on our workforce, and so to address that, we created this program. We bring the industry to the table from a TxDOT perspective and employers, but the board's mission is connecting trainees or labor with employers.
Connect You to Jobs, not only do we give them the access to the construction training as far as heavy equipment operator and the core construction, but we do include life skills. I would say one of the best parts of our program is that we do employer trainings as well, so we don't just leave it up to the participants to learn skills and be better in employment, but we go to the employers, we go to their sites and do a training on what it's like to work with emerging adults and how to use trauma-informed care.
In the construction industry, we have a tough time finding talent. So this provides an opportunity as a resource to recruit talent. By coming into our industry, we begin to teach you those skills, provide you those opportunities for advancement, and not just, again, you're not just coming to a job, you come into a career, a long-term career that can benefit both you as well as your family.
Through Connect You to Jobs, I've been with the same company that I've been with for 1.5 years. You know, and it's a very stable job. I have a family, I have a daughter, you know, I have a wife. And during the interview, when I talked to the interviewers, I told them I want to be able to take care of my family. I want to be able to provide. It was, you know, very life-changing.
I have a boy and a girl. I have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. So, you know, I just did 3 years incarcerated, so I missed a lot of their life, and I'm not trying to miss any more of it, and I feel like I owe them a lot for missing that much of their life.
So where do you go from here?
To the top, all the way to the top.
Okay. So I love that video. I show it to anybody I can just because I love the story. We're not impacting just one person. We're not helping the company. We're helping people. We're helping families. So when Isaiah talks about, you know, at the very end, like, where do you want to go? And that was just a question. The guy just popped off to the top. I was like, yes. I mean, that's right. That's the whole point. We want to help people get jobs. So that is my presentation. I will share some links in the chat with y'all, especially about the grant opportunity and about our playbook and our toolkit. So what questions do y'all have?
I have a question. Do you know if in the state of Wisconsin, there's any other organizations that have this program already in place? So if the colleges are interested, they're just going to be in addition to that funding?
So Wisconsin does have, the Department of Transportation does actually have a program like this. They have that highway construction skills training. It was it's one of the acronyms, HC something. But yes, they do. So if you'd like, I'll also put my contact information in the chat. Reach out to me. I can put you in touch with Michael Stouty. He is with the Office of Civil Rights in the Wisconsin DOT, but also we have Madalena Meister, who is with our Federal Highway Division office, and she is working on that working group. So yes, would definitely love to connect you. So I'm putting the grant opportunity in. It's weird. It's saying that I've never seen it say group chat rather than just talk. But let me also put in, yeah, Wisconsin would be great. Some of the other conversations we're having, we're trying to get North Dakota. We have brought some of the programs that are going on there. It looks like the colleges are doing something, but the Department of Transportation with the state hasn't started up a partnership yet. So we're definitely hoping to get something moving there. Right here is my website for y'all to check out. And we also have I'd love for y'all to subscribe to our, I have a newsletter. We'll try to find the link for that specifically, because our newsletter actually lists grant opportunities and it lists different programs that are going on, so you can learn. And we don't try to blast it. We may once a month, once every other month, we try to put something out. So I will, there we go. I'm going to put that in the chat as well. And then we do have, I believe on the line, we also have Tina Hooper. She is my co-chair for the Strategic Workforce Development Initiative, and she is heading up our tribal kind of activities. So Tina is she's even planning a peer exchange, a tribal focused peer exchange. Yes. And going to be trying to identify which states have tribal initiatives. They're trying to get tribe members into highway construction careers. So Tina, is there anything you would like to say?
No, I'm really grateful to be able to join today, and we're Federal Highways emphasizing the use or engagement of tribal communities. And I know it's been a long battle trying to get folks to the table, but we're very much interested in seeing what's out there and how we can do better in that regard. And I'll also put my contact information in the chat pod. But thank you.
Wonderful. Any other, so I put my contact information, I put the grant opportunity. We would love for y'all to look into that. Then and you just go to grants.gov, which some of y'all are probably, if you are with educational entities, familiar with finding federal grants that way. Put our toolkit, and then the Gov delivery is also where you can sign up for our newsletter, where we share just kind of what's going on in workforce development in the heavy highway construction field. Any other questions?
I have a question. This is Brenda from College of Nation. I read on there that the grant is $300,000 per grant stated. So is it is there a certain a limited years for this grant, and is it a revisable grant where we can apply for it, or does that all depend?
Yeah, so a little bit about the grant. This is using a different pot of money. So it is a one-time grant. It's not going to be a renewable grant. And we try to run these in about a 2-year cycle. So you'll get the money, and it's up to $300,000 per grant award. So if your program just happens to be 150, then it's 100. Then you get 150 rather than 300. But yeah, shoot for the stars. That's what I say.
Shoot for the stars.
Yeah. So up to 300,000. But we try to run it over about 2 years, maybe 2.5, and try to wrap them up. We just don't want them hanging over. But you actually would get the funds. Our past funds, we did award $4 million, about the same, about 4.2 million 2.5 years ago, and those are wrapping up. We were able to do 11 awards with that. So this time, though, we anticipate we're going to get a lot of interest, because we do have those 43 states that are signed up saying, hey, we have a problem. We want to solve this and get people into the industry. So yeah, so definitely put in, if y'all have any questions, reach out to me. I can put you in touch with the program manager or the contracting officer if there's any questions about the process. But it's going to be due, I think it's a 60-day. It was open till maybe mid-June. So you still got some time if you want to put together a partnership. If you want to pick up the phone, call your DOT. If you don't know who with your state Department of Transportation to reach out to, you can contact me, and I can try to track that down, because we have all the states, but usually we work with the civil rights entity or the Department of Labor in their areas. But I think, and actually in Wisconsin, it's not the Department of Civil Rights, it's the Labor Compliance Group is who is doing it in Wisconsin. So yeah, y'all just reach out to me, and I am trying to connect the dots.
One more short question. Is it also, I know you said to go ahead and look, but since you're on here, I'm going to ask, is it also a match grant, or is it just a solid grant that you use?
It is a match. It's an 80-20 match, but the 20% can be a soft match. So if you're providing, staff time, things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing some applications. Anybody else have some questions? Okay, I don't think there's any other in the.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Chrissy and Tina, for jumping on today. Just a quick plug for the next meeting. So the next meeting is going to be June 14th, and we're going to have a presentation on a trauma addressing kind of curriculum. So look for that. And then Chrissy, if you have any PowerPoint slides you want me to send out, I'm planning to share this recording with the big group, so I can attach your presentation, and then I do have a recording that I'll be sending out as well. So thank you everyone for your time today, and then look forward to that email with the recording and Chrissy and Tina's contact info.
Perfect. Thank y'all so much for this opportunity to share. We just love to share what's going on and try to connect people with other people to get partnerships going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great weekend.
You too.